A single serving of creatine costs a supplement brand roughly 4 cents to manufacture. The tub on your shelf retails for $60. That's a 1,500% markup on one of the cheapest, most commoditized white powders on the planet. And the industry has spent 30 years making sure you never did that math. Creatine monohydrate is the most researched sports supplement in human history. Over 1,000 peer-reviewed studies, decades of safety data. And the raw commodity, pure creatine monohydrate, the exact same molecule, trades on the bulk ingredients market for roughly $30 to $50 per kilogram. 1 kilogram is 200 servings. Do the division. The ingredient itself costs you about 20 cents per serving on the worst day, 4 cents on a good one. So what are you paying for when you hand over $60? Not the creatine. That part is almost rounding error. You are paying for the tub, the label, the influencer who held it up in a reel, the billboard at the gym, the affiliate code, the fitness podcast dropped between ads, and the retail margin that gets split between the brand and the store. The creatine is essentially a delivery vehicle for all that other spending. And that's the point. Here's how the supply chain actually works. About 80% of the world's creatine monohydrate is manufactured by a small number of chemical plants, most of them in China and Germany. The dominant German supplier, Alzchem, sells a product called Creapure, a trademarked form of creatine that has strong purity documentation. American and European brands buy this ingredient wholesale, put it in a plastic tub, design a logo, and sell it to you at a markup that would make a luxury hotel blush. The Creapure certification is where it gets interesting. Brands love to put the Creapure logo on their label because it signals quality. And it does represent genuine third-party testing. But the certification fee Alzchem charges brands is modest. The actual Creapure powder costs a few dollars more per kilo than generic monohydrate. It does not cost $30 extra per tub. The brand is using the certification as a price anchor. The logo says premium, the margin says profit. Now layer on the flavoring. Plain creatine monohydrate is tasteless and mixes clear. It is, by any measure, the perfect no-fuss supplement, but a flavorless white powder is hard to differentiate. So brands add fruit punch flavoring, citric acid, malic acid, silica, and a dye, ingredients that together cost maybe another 5 to 8 cents per serving. And suddenly, the tub has a flavor line, a seasonal limited edition, and a reason to charge $70 instead of $40. The flavor isn't for your taste buds, it's for the ski you count. The proprietary blend is the industry's other favorite trick. Instead of selling you plain creatine, they sell you a performance matrix. Creatine monohydrate, plus creatine HCl, plus betaine, plus electrolytes, all at undisclosed doses because the blend is proprietary. Here's what they don't tell you. The research on creatine monohydrate is the research. The fancy forms, HCl, ethyl ester, buffered creatine, have almost no equivalent evidence base. They exist to justify a new patent, a new launch, and a higher price point. The mixture often contains less creatine per serving than the plain version at half the price. Follow the money one level deeper and you hit the influencer economy. A mid-tier fitness creator with 2 million followers can command $10,000 to $30,000 per sponsored post, sometimes more. The brand doesn't pay that out of goodwill. It's baked into the cost of goods sold, which means it's baked into the $60. Independent studies have found that marketing and distribution account for roughly 40 to 60% of the retail price of a typical sports supplement. You are not buying a product, you are funding a media company that also happens to fill tubs, and the retail channel extracts its own toll. A supplement sold through a major chain or a big box sports store typically carries a wholesale to retail markup of 30 to 50% on top of everything else. The brand sells it to the retailer at $40. The retailer sells it to you at $60. That $20 disappears into shelf fees, inventory costs, and retail margin, none of which has any relationship to the 4 cents of creatine inside the tub. Here's the counter move, and it's almost embarrassingly simple. Buy bulk creatine monohydrate from a supplier that sells nothing but the raw ingredient and publishes a certificate of analysis. Look for CreaPure sourced or third-party tested by NSF or Informed Sport. Those certifications are the only thing worth paying a small premium for. A kilogram of that product runs $25 to $40, depending on the supplier. That is the same molecule at the same purity, doing the same thing in your muscle cells. The tub, the flavor, the logo, none of it enters your bloodstream. The clinically effective dose is 3 to 5 grams per day. A 5-gram scoop from a $40 kilo gives you 200 servings, about 6 to 7 months of daily use. That works out to roughly 20 cents per day. The branded $60 tub typically contains 300 grams or 60 servings at 5 grams. That's 6 weeks. At the same price per day, you'd spend over $200 a year on the brand versus roughly $30 on bulk. The gap is not marginal. It is the entire point of the exercise. The supplement industry in the United States alone generates over $50 billion a year in revenue. Creatine is one of its biggest sellers, and unlike most of the industry, creatine actually works. The science is unambiguous on that, but working and being worth $60 are two entirely different claims. The ingredient earns its reputation. The price tag earns the brand's margin. Those two things have been deliberately fused together so that questioning the price feels like questioning the science. It isn't. The molecule is real. The markup is a choice. What you're left with is a system that took one of the most boringly effective, cheapest compounds in sports nutrition and wrapped it in enough branding, certification theater, and proprietary blend language to turn a commodity into a luxury good. The creatine doesn't know what tub it's in. Your muscles don't read labels. The only part of this transaction that actually required $60 was the story the brand needed you to believe. And now you've heard the other one.